and all the other documents which will be required. And then they might even call the person who is the owner of the fund, or people who are the owners of the fund, depends. And then they will approve it, and then it starts, like monthly or sometimes weekly payout, depending on the fund.
What is the guarantee? What is the guarantee that the trader, the programmer, is 100% perfect in getting the profits?
Do you do trading?
Yeah, I was a stockbroker 10 years back.
Okay, so did you give guarantees to anybody that you will get the stock for 100%?
No. See, there is suppose if it is an all-go run program, so there is no chances that they will lose money. So it will always put a stop and then again.
Yeah, these are financial institutions, top financial institutions, right? So these are the likes of UBS, Credit Suisse, HSBC, these kind of institutions, or those kind of institutions will be involved. Their trading team will be involved in the high finance. And the funds, whoever is the fund owner, will check everything. They will also check everything, and then only they will sign. Otherwise, there's it's not like that they're waiting. It's about if somebody is interested, if they understand that this is finance and these are big groups which will be finally once the KYC and everything is sorted, then they go ahead and then they check everything, and then only they start. And they're not asking for any money to be transferred, right? There's no physical transfer of money. The transfer, the money will be in the bank account, the owner's bank account. The fund is not going to be physically transferred. They use that financial instrument to do some trading, which is usually used, which is required, right? So that's the way it will work. For 10 billion, when it's at 10 million, that's the one. That's the program which they can have. It's a very high risk, high reward program. And but it is like, for people who have that kind of possibility. So if there's, we can start with, if you're saying 10 million, we can start with first the documentation part. But we need to know, are you in touch with the fund owner yourself?
No. We are basically into renewable energy, so we don't fund for trading. So
are you in touch with the fund owner? That's what I'm saying. That are you in touch with the fund owner, or
No, we have our own funds, and I know the fund owners also who are interested in this kind of tradings. But we have to know which commodity are you trading.
It's not a commodity, my friend. I told you it's not a commodity. It's a financial instrument, not a commodity.
It's a financial instrument, okay.
Private placement program. It's called private placement program. That's what it is. So everything will be, if they are interested, if they understand, then only it will go ahead. Otherwise, if they ask,
So can you send me some kind of write-up where I can
sorry, I can't send you any write-up. Sorry, this is not the way it works. I can send you the documents which will be required, KYC, application form, proof of fund which you need to show. Not less than 2 days old, not less than 48 hours old, proof of fund. Right? And the KYC, it's an elaborate KYC which has to be filled out. And once they fill out everything, then we will check everything, and then there will be also a proof of life. That is that the fund owner is well alive. That will be at the end of it. Might require that the fund owner is alive and nobody is doing it under the name of somebody else. As I told you, these are they are usually done through Switzerland, and these are big financial institutions, and they are not asking for any money from anybody. So physical money. So there is no. If they understand, if they know what high finance is, if this is under high finance, if they know that there is something like that, then only we will go ahead. Those write-ups and all those things this is not a small kind of thing, right? This can go up to even $1 billion, a couple of $1 billion as well.
So what would be usually the returns?
Returns will be somewhere around 70%, 75% a month.
Okay.
For the fund owner. So, if they are interested, the KYC I can send you the KYC and all the documents. The fund owner has to fill out everything with their details and entire details, and then that will be given to them. They approve. If they approve, then you will be given a proper contract, which you will read, which the fund owner will read and check everything, and then only he or she or they will sign. And that's
to start with. To start with, how much? What is the minimum required fund?
Well, I mean, 10 million is a good number. We can do even sometimes a couple of million, like 2 million, 3 million sometimes. But usually 10 million. There are different, let's say, scales. Up to 99 million is one scale, one level, and then above 99 million is another level.
Okay.
They will invest in, you have been into the stock market, so you know primary markets, right? So they do a lot of trading in the primary market, sometimes in secondary markets, and for that they need they need formalities, so they need these kind of financial instruments, right? So that's why that's what it is. That's why they wanted that.
No, usually, see, what would be the risk? Suppose it's a 10 million, okay, I bring it. Then what is the risk, or what is the stop for me?
There is no risk here involved because the collateral which they will use is used as a formality. So there is not much risk there is no risk involved actually. So it's used as a formality.
So okay. So if you start with 2 million or 10 million, to my funder.
It's up to you. It's up to them. Whatever they are comfortable with, they can start with. They can let us know, and we will send the KYCs and everything. And they send the proof of fund along with the KYC properly filled out, and then and then it is sent. Then those financial institutions, they will call them to verify and everything, and then then the details will.
So what exactly, if suppose the fund is in India, what exactly you need from the banker?
Proof of fund.
That's all.
Yeah, proof of fund. That the amount is there. From the banker, from them we need to see that it is. We need to see that it is check that whether it is whether that person is the person, whether that person is the owner. the proof of ownership through the proof of funds, and then the KYC documents and all these documents which come with the KYC.
See, basically all Indian banks, is there any particular bank? You have a list of banks in India? For example?
In India, I don't usually people ask for AAA rated banks. But if they're in India, we have to find out which bank, and then I will ask them that which bank it is, like which bank you have your funds in.
HSBC India?
Say again?
HSBC India?
Yeah, HSBC is usually it's acceptable.
Okay.
HSBC is usually acceptable because
HDFC, ICICI, is that okay?
All those banks, I don't know. I have to ask HDFC or ICICI because these are not AAA rated banks.
SBI?
The same thing. I don't know about the Indian banks. You tell me which bank, I will ask which bank. But HSBC is okay. HSBC is not a problem.
And see,
suppose Credit Suisse, UBS, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, these banks.
No, these banks, we don't have branches in India, so it is only. I think.
So HSBC is there, and other Indian banks I will have to ask. I don't think it should be a problem, but I will still have to ask which. You let me know which bank, and I will ask them, or which bank, and I will ask
and suppose the minimum return, I would say them 30% or 15% or 20%. What number I should tell them monthly?
70%.
So if I give you a collateral of 10 million from any bank and the KYC is verified, so you give me 70% of that 10 million, right? So you give me 7 million.
Yeah. At the end of it. Yeah, at the end of the month, yeah.
End of the month. So what, since I am referring that client to you, so what we get, what me, Rajiv and Sudhir, what we get?
There are some people involved. We will get some, 0.5% or 1% or something like that.
Okay. So out of 70 million, we get a 0.5%.
Not 70 million. From that
7 million.
10 million, yeah. Out of 10 million, 0.5% or something like that.
Okay.
So it all depends on how much and what and all those things.
So usually it is called as high financing, high risk, high rewarding financial trading, right? High finance.
Private placement program, that's what it's called.
Private placement program, okay.
You can get it in Google also, Joseph Ji. You can get it in Google also. I was just looking after
Rajiv.
Yeah.
Google has, it's not about, first of all, there is no point going into understanding it and all those things if somebody is not into it. It's not for everybody, and that's what they tell us very clearly. Once the KYC and everything is done, and the bank approves, because they will check AML factor and all those factors, they will check. They approve, then you will get a comprehensive contract. And that contract will lay out every single thing, whatever is there. And then it's up to you, whether you want it or you don't want it, whatever, it's up to you. They just read the contract and then they sign or they don't sign. So we don't have to think and understand, because if somebody is not from this sector, it will be very difficult for them to understand it.
No, I don't correct to the people who doesn't know that, right?
That's why they will have the final contract at the end of it. And when they sign the contract, when they're about to sign the contract, they will have every single detail information about what exactly they are going to do, how exactly they are going to do, and everything. And it will be through directly with the financial institution. They will sign the contract with the financial institution.
Yeah, that's what. Because if it is an algo trade, then the program is run perfectly. So it will cut down the losses. It will only do executed trade, which is profitable. But if it is a physical calls, just like you place your orders, then you execute, then people are stuck with their trades. So if it is an algo trade, it's a perfect profit generating trade.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, it is not physical calls. It can be physical calls.
Okay. Chalo, okay, I'll update you. Nice talking to you. I forgot your name.
Yeah.
Saikat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You let me know, and if you have other things, this is for this program. If there are smaller people, then we have other things which are like related to, Rajib might have told you, related to real estate or commodities, and that's a different story. Then it is not like gold or things like that. That's like normal thing, which like $500,000 or 100,000 or 1 million, whatever. That's like a normal kind of thing where they want to invest abroad, keep the money safe, and make money out of it.
So how do that work?
How does what work?
Yeah, if suppose I put $500,000 outside, where should we park the money?
Well, it can be. It's not parking. It's like investing, actually. So
okay.
it can be invested. If you want to park somewhere, it is possible to park in countries like Estonia, even Poland. You have the company, and it's not individually, but through a company, and then it can be parked in Poland or in Estonia and things like that. So it's not a problem. What we do, we first set up the company under our name, because if you have nowadays in Europe, if you have a company which has foreign shareholders or foreign directors, then you don't get a bank account. Very difficult to get a bank account. So what we do, we first get it under, once they confirm and give us a token amount, so we open up the bank company under our name. We open up the bank account and then sell the shares and to that company and get the director and all those things. And they have the bank account anyway, so it's not a problem then.
So how in this COVID time, then how the other things are doing? Real estate here in India, the real estate is almost down. Most of the sectors are getting bankrupt. Big companies
but here it's okay. We don't have those, because it's normal here. If we don't have that kind of problems in Europe, right? I mean, everything is open now. So yeah, there are some spikes here and there, but it's if the second wave comes, then we will see. But right now, we don't have any such thing. So that's why now they are interested. Now things are almost normal. Yeah, just the flights are not working. International flights are not working.
Flights are not working. See a lot of big. You know about unicorns, right? All the startup unicorns with $1 billion valuation. Yeah. Most of them will go bankrupt. Oyo has invested billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Uber, Ola.
That is a high risk sector. When you are talking about real estate, it's the solid sector. So there is no such thing right now as for example, what I know, because I know quite a few people who are investors in real estate in Poland. They're doing okay. First April, May, they had a little bit of a problem. They took a hit, half a month, things like that.
One minute. Sudhirji, can you go mute? Huh? There is a lot of voice.
সুধীরজি আপনি এটা ওই একটু মিউট করে দিন, মানে স্পিকারটাকে কমিয়ে দিন, স্পিকারটাকে অফ করে দিন, আওয়াজ আসছে।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ বলুন।
So that's how it works. It's not that bad now in Europe, to be honest. It's obviously the COVID times and everything, but we have the schools are starting in September all over.
Okay.
So next week all the kids are preparing to go to school next week.
Great.
So which means that was the last kind of thing, and then the only thing left will be international flights. I mean, they are starting the international flights to China from Europe. US, India, Brazil, these are off limits. South Africa, because these are like heavily affected countries. But if you look at Europe, and if you look at the numbers in Europe, then they're not that bad now. Not the way it was before. And now they also know how to, they know that it's not that serious. So the death rate is not that serious anymore. And the only country which is kind of suffering is Spain. The rest of them are okay. They're they're carrying on with their lives, most people. So they know that they have to go through this because people even went on holidays and things like that. So it's not like something which has stopped life here, like in India. Because they dealt things with, first of all, they're small countries, so it's easier to deal with. The bigger countries usually have problems because they have more bureaucracy, everything is bigger. So that's why you have problems in the US, Brazil, India, and all these big countries. And yeah, so if they are interested in getting into real estate or these kind of things, then that is also possible. Or if they want to keep the money, that is also possible. Then they will have to find.
No, it's only for the investment only. Only.
So the investment they can invest in real estate, or if you're talking about solid investments, small, like you said, $500,000. So $500,000, you will get one commercial in Poland, for example, one commercial and one or two residential. And you can get somewhere around, let's say, around 5,000, about 5,000, maybe $4,000 per month. So something like that. So it's possible. So if you are interested in those things, like if there are people who are interested in those kind of things, then they can definitely inquire. We can do a lot of things for them there.
Okay, then we'll try to start with this 10 million program. Let me talk to my funder.
Sure.
If they're okay, then I'll connect you directly.
All right. Okay. All right.
Okay. Nice talk.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
ঠিক আছে বাপারজি, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, কেটে দিচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ।